Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into some pretty interesting YouTube stuff today.
Oh yeah, some big changes might be coming.
We've been keeping an eye on Kevin Brake's work for a while.
He's definitely one to watch.
His track record is pretty solid,
Sure.
and his latest predictions have got us thinking.
Got me thinking too.
So basically, he's saying that in 2025, YouTube's gonna let creators sell courses
Directly on the platform.
directly on the platform.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that.
Huge, right?
It's huge, and Kevin, he really puts it out there.
Oh yeah.
He said, and I quote, "Soon you will be able to sell your courses on YouTube in 2025.
Straight to the point.
Straight to the point, no messing around."
No messing around.
So given all that, we really wanted to take a deep dive into this.
Absolutely.
YouTube getting into the online course market, that's a big deal.
It's a big deal for creators,
For learners, for everyone, really.
for everyone.
So what do you think is driving this move by YouTube? What's behind it all?
There are a couple of things at play here.
Okay, lay it on me.
Well, first, you've got this incredible rise of online learning.
People are hungry for knowledge.
Absolutely. They want new skills. They want to learn new things.
And YouTube's already seen creators tapping into that.
Yeah, you see these creators building whole brands around teaching.
Right. Like, some of these creators are rock stars.
Total rock stars. They've got massive followings.
And they're making bank, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
So YouTube's probably looking at this and thinking, how can we help them even more?
Exactly. How can they empower these creators to, monetize their expertise even more?
Right, because right now, a lot of creators are relying on things like sponsorships and...
Merch, Patreon, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, and this would be a way for them to really sell their knowledge directly.
Directly to their audience.
And for learners, it could be amazing.
Think about it. You could potentially access high-quality courses from your favorite creators.
Right on a platform you already use.
Right there on YouTube.
It just makes sense.
It's a win-win, really.
So let's say you're a creator listening to this and you're thinking, all right, I want to get in on this.
They're probably scrambling right now.
Yeah. What should they be doing to get ready?
Well, there's been a lot of talk about an early access program.
Like a beta test.
Exactly, a beta test for this new feature.
So not everyone's going to get in right away.
No, it sounds like they're going to be pretty selective.
Okay, so what do you need to do to even be considered?
From what we've gathered, it seems like being part of the YPP is going to be key.
The YouTube Partner Program.
Right, or at least being really close to meeting those requirements.
So hitting those subscriber counts and watch hour thresholds.
Exactly, that's going to be your ticket to the dance.
But even if you meet those criteria, I'm guessing it's not an automatic in, right?
You're right, it's not just about checking boxes.
YouTube's going to be looking at the quality of your content too, right?
Absolutely, they want to see that you're creating engaging, well-produced content.
Content that you're proud of.
Exactly, think of it like your portfolio.
You got to put your best foot forward.
For sure.
Now, for creators who are listening and they're like, hold on, how do I even know if I'm close to meeting those YPP requirements? Where should they go?
There are some really great resources out there.
Give us the goods.
Well, sites like NextLev and MediaCube, they break down the YPP in detail.
Okay, those are going in my notes.
They're really helpful. They'll tell you everything you need to know.
So aside from brushing up on the YPP, what are some other steps creators can take to prepare?
Well, staying informed is crucial.
Of course.
Subscribe to the YouTube Creator Blog. Enable those notifications in YouTube Studio.
So you don't miss any announcements?
Exactly. You got to stay on top of things.
But YouTube isn't always the best at communicating their plans.
True. They like to keep us guessing.
So what else can creators do?
I think tapping into creator communities is going to be really valuable.
Like where?
Communities like the ones on Learn Worlds or Rally. Those are gold mines for insights.
So connecting with other creators, getting advice from those who are already in the beta.
Exactly. Peer-to-peer learning. That's going to be huge.
And of course, there's the YouTube Help Center.
Always a good resource for official updates and FAQs.
So the actual application, do we know anything about where that's going to be?
Early reports suggest it'll be right in the YouTube Studio dashboard.
Okay, so keep your eyes peeled.
Under the monetization section.
Now, I know some creators might be feeling a little overwhelmed by all of this.
It's a lot to take in.
It's a big shift.
A lot of moving parts.
What advice would you give to those creators who are feeling a bit intimidated?
I think it's totally understandable to feel that way.
It's natural.
The full details are still being finalized, but that's actually the best reason to start preparing now.
So don't panic. Be proactive.
Exactly. The more you know, the more confident you'll be when the time comes to apply.
So familiarize yourself with the resources, get your content in top shape, and really start thinking about what kind of courses you could offer.
And how you can make them stand out.
because this is going to be a competitive space.
Oh, for sure.
Which brings up an interesting question. What types of courses do you think will be the most successful on YouTube?
That's a great question.
What's going to resonate with learners?
Well, I think we need to look at what's already working on the platform.
You mean those practical skills-based courses?
Yeah, things like coding, photography, graphic design.
People love those.
They offer tangible skills. You learn something, you can apply it right away.
Instant gratification.
But I also think there's a huge opportunity for creators who can take those more traditional academic subjects
And to make them engaging.
make them accessible, make them fun.
So it's not just about learning how to code, it's about learning how to think critically.
It's about expanding your mind, broadening your horizons.
I love that.
I think we'll see a blend of both.
Practical skills and those more mind-expanding courses.
It's going to be exciting to watch.
It really is. It feels like a whole new era of online learning is about to unfold.
I think you're right.
But I do have to wonder, are there any potential challenges that could come with all of this?
Oh, there are always challenges.
What should creators and learners be aware of?
Well, one thing that immediately comes to mind is the potential for saturation.
Like if everyone jumps on the bandwagon.
Exactly. If everyone starts creating and selling courses, it's going to become a very crowded marketplace.
It's like the Wild West of online learning.
Everyone's rushing in to stake their claim.
So standing out is going to be crucial.
Absolutely. Creators will need to focus on building a strong brand, marketing their courses effectively.
And really offering a unique and valuable learning experience.
That's key.
And from the learner's perspective, are there any potential pitfalls they should be aware of?
Well, as with anything online, there's always the risk of scams.
Or low-quality courses?
Exactly. Learners will need to do their research, be discerning about who they choose to learn from.
So it's not just about finding the cheapest course.
It's about finding the right course from a credible source.
Check the reviews, look at the creator's track record.
Make sure the course aligns with your learning goals.
Be an informed consumer.
Exactly.
But I think we need to zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture here.
The big picture.
This move by YouTube, it has the potential to disrupt the entire online learning landscape.
It's a big deal.
What do you think the ripple effects will be?
Well, think about those established online learning platforms like Coursera and Udemy.
They're going to have to step up their game.
They're going to have to adapt. They're going to have to innovate to stay competitive.
It's like a giant waking up and realizing there's a whole new playing field out there.
Exactly.
And it's not just the established players who will be affected.
This could empower a whole new generation of educators.
People who might not have had the resources to create and sell courses before.
Right. YouTube could level the playing field.
So it's not just about competition. It's about opening up new possibilities.
It's about democratizing education.
Imagine that. Anyone with valuable knowledge and a passion for teaching could reach a global audience.
That's the kind of future YouTube could be shaping.
It's incredibly empowering, but it also makes me wonder
Wonder what?
about the ethical considerations. With this kind of power comes responsibility.
Oh, absolutely.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's crucial for both YouTube and creators to be mindful of that responsibility.
To make sure the courses are accurate, unbiased, respectful of diverse perspectives.
It's not just about creating any content. It's about creating responsible content.
And learners also have a role to play.
They need to be critical consumers of information.
To evaluate sources carefully, be aware of potential biases.
It's a two-way street
Education is a partnership.
between the creator and the learner.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have
We've talked about the changes, the potential benefits, the challenges.
the big picture.
But I want to come back to our listener for a moment.
Our lovely listener.
You've heard our take on all of this, but we want to hear from you.
What are your thoughts?
Are you excited about this? Are you worried? What kind of courses would you like to see on YouTube?
Leave us a comment below and share your thoughts.
We always love hearing from you.
We do.
And if you're finding this deep dive valuable, don't forget to give us a like.
It helps us reach more people.
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
It's been a blast.
We'll be back soon with more.
More insights, more analysis.
Until then, keep learning
Keep exploring.
and keep those comments coming.
We'll see you soon. It's kind of wild when you think about how this could really even things out for creators.
Oh, like level the playing field?
Yeah, exactly. Like right now, if you want to sell courses online, you got to go through these third-party platforms.
Like Patreon, Skillshare, all those.
Yeah, all of those.
Yeah.
And they all take a cut, right?
Right. Plus, you got to manage all these different accounts, different marketing strategies.
It gets complicated.
It does. So this new feature, it could really simplify things for creators who are already on YouTube.
Streamline everything,
Yeah.
put it all under one roof.
So you create your content, build your audience, sell your courses, all right there on YouTube.
One-stop shop.
I like it.
And think about the revenue potential for creators.
Yeah, no more middleman.
And you're reaching this massive audience that YouTube already has.
You're tapping into a gold mine?
Exactly. Like someone's watching your YouTube video on, let's say, gardening tips.
Okay.
And then, boom, they get a notification about your in-depth gardening course.
Right there on the platform.
It's all about convenience.
Making it easy for the learner.
Seamless experience.
But what about the learners? What's in it for them?
Well, besides the convenience, I think affordability could be a big draw.
How so?
Well, creators will have more control over their pricing.
So, potentially more competitive than those other platforms?
Exactly. Could open up opportunities for people who couldn't afford those pricier courses.
Makes education more accessible.
Absolutely. And don't forget the social aspect of YouTube.
It's already a very social platform.
People connect, they interact, there's a built-in community.
Which you don't always get with those traditional online learning platforms.
Right. Imagine taking a course and being able to discuss it with other learners in real time.
Right there on YouTube.
It could create a really dynamic learning experience.
I could see that, a sense of community, shared learning.
And for creators, it's valuable feedback.
They can see what's resonating with their audience.
Exactly. But of course, there are challenges too.
There always are.
One thing that comes to mind is quality control.
How can YouTube ensure that the courses being sold are actually good?
Right. Will there be some kind of vetting process?
We don't have all the answers yet.
We don't, but I'd assume YouTube will have some sort of review process.
Similar to how they moderate content now.
I would think so.
And creators will need to be mindful of that too.
Building a reputation for quality content, that's going to be key. It's not just about throwing something together and hoping for the best.
It's about creating something valuable, something that people will actually learn from. Which brings us back to that question of what types of courses will thrive on YouTube?
We've talked about those practical skills-based courses.
The coding, the photography, all that.
Yeah. But what else? What other niches do you see emerging?
Well, YouTube's all about those niche interests.
It is. It's the long tail of content.
So if you're an expert in, I don't know, ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics,
Or the history of yo-yoing.
you could find an audience for that on YouTube.
Exactly. It's about finding your tribe.
Offering them something unique, something they can't find anywhere else.
And I think we'll also see a rise in those personal development courses.
Mindfulness, meditation, all that.
People are looking for ways to improve their lives, and YouTube could be a hub for that.
It's exciting, all the possibilities, but we do need to be realistic.
There are potential downsides, too.
For sure. What are some of the pitfalls, the challenges?
Well, one thing that worries me is information overload.
Too much of a good thing?
Kind of. With so many courses, it could be overwhelming for learners.
So much to choose from.
It's that paradox of choice, you know?
Yeah, too many options can be paralyzing.
Exactly. So creators will need to be really clear about who their target audience is.
Market their courses effectively.
Make it easy for learners to find what they need.
And for learners, what are some red flags they should be looking out for?
Well, we talked about scams, low-quality courses.
Right, but what else?
I think learners need to be wary of those courses that promise unrealistic results.
Like become a millionaire overnight.
Exactly. Be realistic, do your research, look for courses backed by credible sources.
Courses with clear learning objectives.
And a proven track record.
Be a savvy consumer.
That's the key.
And remember, no single course is a magic bullet.
It takes effort, it takes dedication from the learner.
It's a partnership, really.
Between the creator and the learner.
Both sides got to put in the work.
Absolutely.
But let's shift gears for a second. I want to talk about the bigger picture again.
Okay, the big picture.
What does this move by YouTube tell us about the future of online learning?
I think it points towards a more accessible, democratized approach to education.
More personalized, more self-directed.
Exactly. Learners have more control over what they learn, when they learn it, how they learn it.
And YouTube is in a prime position to lead this charge.
With their reach, their diverse community.
It's exciting, but also a little daunting.
It is. We're on the verge of a major shift in education.
And it's going to be fascinating to watch it all unfold.
It really is.
And it's up to all of us to shape this future. Creators, learners, platforms like YouTube.
We all have a role to play.
And speaking of shaping the future, we want to hear from you, our listener.
What are your thoughts on all of this?
Are you excited? Do you have concerns? What kind of courses would you like to see on YouTube?
Share your thoughts with us in the comments below.
We love hearing from you.
We do.
And if you're enjoying this deep dive, don't forget to give us a like.
Helps us reach more people.
We'll be back soon with the final part of our deep dive.
We'll explore some potential scenarios for the future of online learning on YouTube.
Until then, keep learning
Keep exploring.
and keep those comments coming.
We'll see you soon.
We've talked about the good and the bad, the ups and downs of this whole YouTube course thing.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
But what I'm really curious about is, like, what does this actually look like in practice,
Like, how does this all play out?
Exactly. What are the different scenarios we could see happening?
Well, one scenario is that this really does become a game changer.
Like a true revolution in online learning.
Yeah, YouTube becomes the go-to platform for everyone, creators and learners.
The YouTube of education.
Exactly. And we see this explosion of content, all kinds of courses, from the practical stuff.
To those niche topics you wouldn't find anywhere else.
It would be like this massive global library of knowledge.
But accessible to anyone.
Anyone with an internet connection.
And that could have a huge impact, especially for people who haven't had access to traditional education.
It's about equity. It's about breaking down barriers.
But there's also the potential for things to go in a different direction, right?
There's always that possibility.
What if this leads to a flood of low-quality content?
That's a valid concern.
It becomes harder to separate the good from the bad.
The signal-to-noise problem.
Exactly. So in that scenario, YouTube would really need to step up their game with quality control.
Maybe some kind of rating system, community feedback.
So learners can help each other out.
Yeah, peer review could be crucial.
But here's another thought. What if this whole thing just flops?
What if it doesn't take off?
What if creators and learners just aren't into it?
I mean, it's possible.
It all depends on whether YouTube can really create a system that works for everyone.
If it's too complicated, too clunky,
People won't use it.
it's got to be user-friendly, intuitive.
For both creators and learners.
That's the sweet spot.
So YouTube's got their work cut out for them.
They got to strike that balance.
Now, I'm also curious about how the other big players in the online learning space are going to react to this.
The Coursera's, the Udemy's of the world.
They're not just going to sit back and watch, are they?
No way. They're going to have to adapt. They're going to have to innovate.
Maybe they'll partner with YouTube. Maybe they'll create their own competing features.
It could lead to a whole wave of innovation across the industry.
Which would be good for everyone, especially the learners.
Competition often breeds creativity.
But ultimately, it all comes down to the learners, right? To decide what works, what doesn't.
So, we want to hear from you, our listener.
What do you think about all of this?
Are you excited about this new direction for YouTube?
Do you have any reservations?
What kind of courses would you like to see?
Share your thoughts with us in the comments.
We always love hearing from you.
And if you found this deep dive valuable, don't forget to give us a like.
It really helps us out.
It does.
Thanks for joining us on this journey into the future of online learning.
It's been a fascinating conversation.
And who knows what the future holds.
But we'll be here to explore it with you.
Until next time, keep learning
Keep exploring.
and keep those comments coming.